Yes, you know what it is. I think we got him locked in.
Are we here now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All
There
right.
you go. That's right, y'all. Where's my damn podcast? I got a very special guest on the line. Um, yeah, one of my good friends in comedy. But we'll get to that in a sec. Um, like I said, where's my damn podcast? Be sure to share, like, subscribe, comment, review, all that good stuff. Um, yeah, just do what you got to do on them on the internet. Um, yep. And shout out to all the listeners that are tuning in. I thank you for checking out the podcast. Yeah, we appreciate you. Shout out to Anchor, my one and only sponsor. I need some more sponsors, y'all. So just holla at your boy. you know. But yeah, like I said, man, we're definitely gonna get into it. I got the man himself. He's the captain. But see, I'm gonna be navigating this airplane, this 747 because yeah, blind people can yeah we can navigate airplanes.
It's cool,
Just
bro. We can fly in Braille. I ain't mad.
yeah, right. Stick my tongue outside. Oh man. Yeah. I welcome you to the podcast. Like I said, the captain TC Morgan.
Oh my God, my Filipino blind brother. How the hell have you been, man? I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. How do we like? Oh man, what a crazy time. I mean, I ain't
I
seen
know.
you in a while. Most people don't know like you and I came up together. You know what I mean? They don't recognize that we've been in so many crappy bars together and like
Yeah.
seedy places where like our grandmas would have got mad at us for going and stuff. And we're from Stockton. It ain't like, you know what I mean? It's not like our grandmas thought we were at church every Wednesday night or nothing. So,
Right.
geez Louise.
Oh man, yeah. He's from the 2 and 9, Stockton. He's been everywhere, Lodi. But now he resides in Nevada, right? You're in
Yeah,
Nevada.
yeah, just outside of Vegas. I'm out here now doing my thing. Been hustling out here for a little over a year now.
Ooh,
Doing
and
shows.
you are, and you are. You're grinding. You're hustling. I'm seeing your posts and here and there, and I'm like, man, he's doing his thing, man. That's a salute, man. Salute, TC. That's what's up, man.
Thank you, brother. But you know how it is, man. You know where we're from. I mean, I'm not young anymore. It's one of them things. I either got to get on it or I got to get off of it. Yeah, the acting really has picked up this last year. I did a few commercials. I did a movie and a couple other things like a feature film. A couple of the films that I actually did finally got done in editing. Uh, one of the big
Nice.
one of the big ones was Ballbusters with Jerry O'Connell and Lunell and Mike Winfield from Sacramento. Bunch of comics
Wow,
and
nice.
yeah, that was kind of nice because finally I got some legitimacy to my acting career. It wasn't just a bunch of movies like you and I were making in the backyard back on the east side of Stockton and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Okay, man. Well, actually, I seen something recently. We'll get into it to that as well a little bit. I think you signed on onto a project as well in Phoenix or something or a film.
no, well, I was no, actually, I signed with Phoenix Rising Production Company. We're going to do a couple of films.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's break it down for the people out there, bro. Um, y- you mentioned it earlier. You're from out here, in in the 209 area, Stockton,
Yep.
Lodi, and all that good stuff. And like, yeah, break it down. Like, I, how did you get into comedy?
Oh man, yeah, I grew up out in the Stockton Lodi. We lived out by the bay a little bit. We moved
Yep.
around a lot. My mom's wasn't one of the
Where's my
people
damn
that
podcast?
wasn't
Yeah.
trying to wasn't trying
We
to
got
stay very, very
the
long. You know what I
captain
mean?
himself. I think he cut out a little bit. We'll
Oh,
try to get him back on.
are we back?
Bam, we're back. Oh Oh my God, technology, TZ technology.
Jesus Christ, bro! I never felt 40 and white in my life until that moment.
Oh man, yeah. We got them back. Oh my God, this is crazy. Only in the pandemic, man. Only in the pandemic, I guess. Hey, so yeah, let's get right into it. So you were talking about how you got started in comedy. Yeah, let's go from there.
Yeah, no, growing up in the hood, being the fat white kid, you know what I mean? I had to be funny before I learned how to box.
Mm-hmm.
So those two things kind of went together. A lot of, growing up, and growing up where we grew up, Friday night, Saturday night, we went out and we got into fights, and I
Mm-hmm.
did grow up boxing since I was 8 years old, but it's not like I was the most athletic dude in the group, so I had to be funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the girls weren't interested in me unless I was goofy and could make them laugh, so that just kind of snowballed, and then I was working a job. I got fired from Honda, and it was one of the moments of my life where I took the step and went out to do some theater acting. One night I was up there, lights didn't work. I was dressed up as a goofy magician in the play, and the director was like, "Yo, I need like 5 or 10 minutes to get the lights back on." And he looked at me and he said, "Just TC, just go out there and do something." I was like, "What? Like do what?" And he was like, "Just go out there and do the magician. Just ham it up a little bit." And I was like, okay, I like this guy. I respected him, and my, in the moment, I just wanted to do whatever I could to help. So I stepped out on stage, and I had I had Under Armour spandex on. I had the Jufro. I had the sweatband like I was from the 1970 Jazzercise. And I went there, and it was a wine crowd, so they were having a good time, and I just started in on them. I said, I did a goofy voice, and I asked if I could read their future. And one of the ladies stepped up and she asked if she would ever find true love. Well, I turned around from the crowd, and I had a magic 8 ball in my pouch,
Mm-hmm.
and I took it, and everybody in the crowd kind of knew what it was because ain't nobody hiding no magic 8 ball. So around, and I answered exactly what the 8 ball said, which was ask me again later. And that place started laughing. And I can't lie, man. It was kind of like when I won one of those big fights and the crowd was screaming and yelling and cheering. And I just looked down and there was a couple hundred people just laughing at me. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Oh
The
man.
end of the night, the director introduced me to the folks up there in Sacramento who run one of the comedy clubs, Brian, and it was just one of those things that snowballed from there. So
That's what's up. So what year technically did you get into it?
that's about 4 years ago now, partner. We were just kind of coming up on I think 4 years since
Okay.
I really started in on the grind.
Yeah, there you go.
So
So okay, it's around 2017.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, okay. I started like about a year later. So we're right there. We're in the same era, you
well,
know.
and it's funny because everybody was like, "Oh, when did you start? When did you?" I say, "Man, look, I went up on stage in 2017. I was, I wasn't good."
Yeah.
I went up and I wrote a couple jokes, and I tried the open mics in Sacramento, and there really wasn't quite the scene wasn't as open as it was a year or two later either, which was kind of nice because I was glad to run into you, and we just started expanding from there. But I mean, I remember when it was we had to get together and road dog out and drive for an hour any direction just to find an open mic, so
Oh
um,
yeah. Oh yeah. And that was good times too, man. I
yeah,
mean, just
yeah. Oh,
g-
yeah.
riding all the way up to Sac to hit up a mic, and that's definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, so was your first mic in Sacramento or in Stockton, or
Yeah,
where was it?
yeah. I did the comedy spot in Sacramento. That was my first mic, my first
Okay.
club. I went up there and did their one of their open mic nights.
Yeah.
I didn't know nobody. It was kind of like being the new kid in the hood again. I took my basketball and just went out to the park and tried to find some friends. You know what I'm saying? So
All right.
and I did. I walked in there and I had my little notebook and I introduced myself. Brian, I gotten an introduction to him, and One of his dudes was there, and I hung out. I waited. The first time I went up, I didn't even get on the mic because they
Hmm.
didn't know me. It was one of those classic situations where 29 guys showed up and there was only 20 spots, and I got kind of the brush off because I was the new kid in town.
Right, right.
But it
Well,
was cool because I sat and watched and I did my research. You and I come from a mixed group of dudes. I did kung fu, I did eskrima, some stuff like
mm,
that too.
yeah,
So martial arts kind of kicked in at that point, and I was just chilling, kind of Bruce Lee in the whole thing, watching.
yeah.
But it was cool because I said something at the end of it. I waited. I was polite. My grandma raised me right. So I waited. And then at the end, I went and reintroduced myself to the young man kind of running the show there and told him I had drove up from Stockton. And the look on his face was like I was going to rob him. And then he was like, man, that's a long drive. Next week, or next time you come out, let me know and I will definitely get you up. And so I went back the next night and I was up on stage.
There you go. That's what's up. It's an interesting thing about comedy spot because you get a lot of mixed review with the whole thing because with comedy spot, I mean, not trying to hate on comedy spot, it is what it is, but what interesting thing about it is they have a class, right? And
Yeah.
they have students, and so students get priorities when you head out there. And but yeah, there's mixed reviews. A lot of people you know like it, don't
You
like
know,
it.
it's funny because it wasn't like that when I started there. It was just the group of dudes, which was like they had their little clique, like it was like back to being like in eighth grade, and I'm not the pretty dude and stuff. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
and being me, we moved so much growing up hood as we were. I was in a new place every few months. It seemed like so. I had to learn how to make friends, which is thank God now. But it was
yeah,
weird because I hadn't, as a grown up, I hadn't run into something like that in a while, and I walked in there and they did. There was like a clique of dudes and people that kind of ran that show and ran a few others in town.
right,
And then Brian opened it up to make it into like a university style,
yeah,
which good and bad for both, because to be frank with you, a lot of us need some coaching, especially when it comes to comedy from, the next level to the next level to the next level. We get ourselves there, but it takes a long time. You know what I mean? That's a lot of farming to get you a product that's worthwhile. When I had the pleasure of being around some top level comics as an actor, and
hmm,
I got, coached up and talked to while we were eating lunch together. Like, I'll throw it back a couple years back. I spent a few like weeks with Lunell
yeah,
and Mike Winfield and Jerry O'Connell and a few other cats. But Lunell and I ate lunch. I mean, I sat next to her and I was just joking with, I was just being TC, to be honest, and goofing around and making fun of stuff. And she set me down and was like, you got to get this tight. Like, you can't play around. You want to be a comedian. You got to get your jokes together. You got to get your stuff together. She was like, because you're funny, dude.
yeah,
And if you want to do this for real, like, you got to get your head out of your ass and make this happen. And
right,
I look back now and I appreciate that so much. Like, she'll never know how much that meant to me in that moment, because I was year and a half to almost 2 years not really caring, just doing open mics. I did a studio opening and stuff like that, but I never really taken it serious. Which,
yeah.
I mean, as a comic, come on, how serious can you really take yourself? But it was a moment where I just, I want to do this. I love being on stage. I enjoy making people laugh. I like acting the fool. So I really, she kind of kicked my butt forward in the right direction, and I took off with that.
Yeah, no, she gave you that so-called extra push, and in which case, that's good. I mean, to hear it, coming from a comedian, she's well known in
Yeah.
the area. Um, I believe she's down in L.A. now.
Yeah,
But
well, she had a spot out here in Vegas. She was doing a Jimmy Kimmel show. I mean, she's from Oakland. She's
yeah,
from,
yeah.
she's from the same area you and I are from.
Oh yeah,
And it's one of those, I mean, I look up to the girl. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan. Um, when we did Tommy T's, that was a huge, because that's like her home club out there in the Bay. And I remember when I finally made it to that, I took my picture next to her picture.
Yeah.
It's goofy stuff like that. But like I said, sometimes these people never know how much they mean to you, and just the moments that they take to just talk to you and be real with you. And
Hmm.
I she's always been that way. She still is. I've reached out to her a couple times. She's always hit me back. I just talked to Mike Winfield yesterday. I sent him a little message on the gram, and he hits me back. So it's nice to know that when you work around some of these, let's be frank, they're higher level comedians than maybe you and I are right now.
Right.
But it
Right.
ain't like, I mean, it's not like if we were bad comedians, they would be like, hey, it's cool, go get you a job, be a garbage man. But they don't, and it's nice to get it's nice to get those coaches, those talk to moments, because
Yeah.
we all need it.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually 100% because yeah, because like a lot of times, up and coming comedians or comedians that are, going through the process or the motion, maybe like, it you don't get a lot of that because a lot of times, you're around open micers,
Yeah.
just like ourselves, and to hear those words, comforting words from a successful comedian. I mean, that goes a long way,
you
long
know,
way.
it's funny, Elvin. I the last night I'm in Vegas. I'm at an open mic, and I'm like number two on the mic, right? There's 37 comics going up on the dive bar Monday night. It was
Right.
Monday night, and first kid went up. It was his fourth time on the mic. Now I've been in this thing 4 years. I'm on a tour. I mean, you know how it is, brother. It's like there's a difference between the guy that's been up there 4 times and the guy that's been up there 4 years.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I watched him. He did his set. He came off stage. He handled himself like he was supposed to. I went up. I did my set. I sat down. I talked to a couple people. I sat down, and immediately the young man comes over and introduced himself and wanted to take that moment. Now, whether it's the kung fu man in me or just that my grandma raised me right or whatever, but I immediately turned to him and I was like, yo, yeah, let's talk. Let's figure out, like, if you got questions and you want to hear my opinion, I'm not going to hold it back. I mean, most people know that after a few minutes of hanging out with me, but
Yeah.
I was, but like I said, I didn't have nothing negative to say to the young man, but I gave him a few pointers and I sent him on his way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was, and, I turned back around and my friends were kind of laughing at me a little bit, and it's like, yeah, you can't do people wrong. Number one, that ain't the way the world's supposed to be. But I mean,
Right.
in this game, yeah, at an open mic, you never know. I mean, I go up some nights and there are heavy hitters that I look up to that show up to open mics. Just, I mean, I just happen to be in Vegas. So on any given night, somebody can come up here that's got a TV show that's 10
Hmm.
times better than any of the crap I'm on.
Yep.
And, some of these dudes is writers that make me look like I'm still in, creative writing in seventh grade. So it's I appreciate that because I know I take the time every once in a while just to watch one of these dudes go up or these ladies go up and just appreciate the crap that they put in and I fanboy out every once in a while too. I'll go over and ask for a picture. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah,
I.
yeah, no, I'll do the same too. Yeah, no, no. Shouts out to you for just giving your time, to that dude that was on the open mic and stuff. Because a lot of times, okay, because I mean we see it, in the industry, too, and people are assholes, and
Yeah.
sometimes, but what I'm saying, like, if someone was, uh new, like in that situation, that wanted to, bend your ear a little bit, and trying to get some info and knowledge, and you were willing to do that, and man, shouts out to that. I mean, that information, that kid is gonna take that information, bit of information, and he's gonna put it in his memory bank.
Well, man, I mean, I miss the old days when it was me, you, Nick Michelson, Jordan Quattlebaum. We were sitting around outside of like these dive bars and we worked on each other's stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was all love in those moments where, if you brought a joke to the table and you wanted help or you wanted somebody to work with, we all worked with each other. I mean, that's kind of the way, I believe in some of that stuff where you're supposed to put in with each other and show your love
Yeah.
to one another. And you know what I mean? Like, shoot, if we was in the old days and I had a farm and you had a farm and they had a farm, damn well we all be sharing some stuff. So
Yeah, yeah,
none of this is different, I don't think. Just because axe handles and goats, we just writing jokes. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And
it,
you know, and you know what? Yeah, I miss the old days as well. I mean, and I talked to a lot of the Stockton cats on the podcast
yeah,
that yeah, man, we miss those old days. And the thing too, at one point in time, I was telling I forget who it was, but it might have been like Saul or Nick, that you know what I'm saying, like we had a little scene going, like there was actually I think right before you left, uh there was like about four mics going on throughout the week at
yeah.
one point in time, and it was starting to really blossom. And then boom, obviously the pandemic hit, and that derailed everything. But I kind of want to bring up Stockton, you know what I'm saying, like just make it to where, like, people can go and do comedy, and go to the open mics, because Jordan had the poppies. Marcellus took over Finn's after Saul left, and Tariq had the bubble leaf, and then
Yeah.
Marcellus had another one on Monday night. I don't know if you were at that one. It was called Sweetbot. So yeah, like legit four mics throughout the week at one point in time. Oh, and Blackwater too. That's actually five.
Yeah.
Um, so man, but it's man, those were definitely good days. Awesome days.
Well, and I was talking to other comics about that. That's it's like, without those open mics, you don't get your bag work in. You don't get your sparring in.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows you can't jump right into the heavyweight fight for the world championship with you get Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
got to you got to put in that work, and when you don't, it shows quick. I mean, I'll be the first guy to admit, after not being on stage for what, 3 4 months, it seemed like, I jumped on stage and I I thought I sucked. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, I wouldn't pay to see this dude. So and so, what, yeah, when you and I were running around, we would go to Sacramento and hit five almost mics on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And people didn't understand that. Like, most people need a week to get that many in. And you and I would, we put in more open mics in a week than most people did in months, sometimes even in years. So
Right.
when it's like, I talk to the comics, I get back to that. I'm like, man, I'm traveling, I'm doing my stuff, but I also look, I try to get into town a day early and see if there's an open mic somewhere in Colorado Springs and Phoenix, wherever I'm headed.
Right. Right.
It's because I need that. I need that, man. I
Yeah.
need that warm up. I need that. And I like to, because I got other jokes. It's not
Yeah.
like I got 7 jokes and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we have to definitely grind and travel and yeah, like you said, get our sparring in, because um if you don't, you end up, just missing a technique, or not executing a particular joke or a jab, like, what I'm saying, like, because you can easily, slip up. Um but um but let's talk about, yeah, like you mentioned 3 4 months you weren't doing comedy, and obviously I believe that's probably early on in the pandemic. um what was that like? I mean, you moved out to Nevada, and then the pandemic hit, and then was it like pretty much like here, like they had to shut it down, and no mics, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I thought like God was playing a joke on me for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I moved out to, Sin City, entertainment capital of the world. Got some connections out here. I did the Pawn Stars, the pawn shop, Rick's Roll and Smoke Barbecue. Like, within no time, I was in town. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. I brought some stuff. I mean, I felt solid. I knew I was a good comedian. I knew I had good jokes. I've been around. We've done some traveling. I'm not scared to go up in front of different crowds. And it was really weird after that because it went down hard and
Yeah.
we lost everything because basically everything out here is connected to a casino in essence.
Right.
So if it has any type of gambling in it, it has to go through the casino commission. They shut everything down. So even if you had a little bar, but you had a little bit of video poker, you
Mm-hmm.
got shut down.
Mm.
So I mean, I'll be honest with you. There's a funnier story within this. I was looking for an open mic where I live. I live in a smaller town, kind of a retirement town out off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one place, a little restaurant, that the owner said, "Hey, go talk to Country Bob on Friday night. He goes up there and plays music. See if he'll let you up."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay. That's a good start." So I went up Friday night and I introduced myself to Country Bob and his wife. Wonderful people. I won't lie to you. Bob looked at me and said, "When I go get a beer and use the restroom, I'll give you 3 minutes and you can have that." So I was like, "Yo, okay, let's do this."
Three
So
minutes it is.
I got my 3 minutes out here on the mic, and I told I think it was two jokes, to be honest. One,
Yeah.
the first joke, landed, got some laughs. The second joke did not land, and I made fun of it not landing. And so, I recognized my crowd was a little older, so retirement community. So you got to watch what you say and how you say it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they let me come back the next week, and that was my only spot to do an open mic for a while.
Yeah.
It was goofy. It was funny. It was not my crowd. It was trying, I felt like I was doing the retirement community at the Poconos in Florida, bingo hall or something like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So,
Senior Citizen
um,
Club.
yeah, yeah. But it's one of those things that from just doing that, and it's got to be clean comedy. It's in a family restaurant. You got to watch what you're doing and stuff. I landed a gig. I am the comedian for the Senior Games, which is the Senior Olympics.
Mm.
They play those out here. They do their golf and a bunch of other events. And they had their award ceremony last year. And the lady reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, I got this thing and it's like 20 minutes. I'd like for you to do some comedy and co-host with me." And it ended up being way over 20 minutes and I did the whole thing clean. I
Mm-hmm.
never expected that, dude. So it was quite an experience. It's
Yeah.
not what I thought I was moving to Vegas for. So
Right. 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 That's interesting. When you mentioned clean. I ended up doing a clean set for the first time. Because I'm part of the NFB organization, National Federation for the Blind, and they had a convention. But it was last year in October, obviously, and during the pandemic, so it was online. So um, so I ended up doing a clean set, which I never did before. Or like my stuff is blue, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm cussing up a storm and and fucking curse word
man,
here and there, and I'm like fuck, like how am I gonna do this? And luckily I was able to pull it off, and it went good. I had a good feedback on it.
I mean, I taught, martial arts, MMA, kung fu, had a pretty large school at one point with a partner. We had one of the largest ones in Northern California, and everybody called me Mr. Morgan. And I had little dudes and little, uh, kids running around. And I cussed like, I mean, I literally was in the Navy at 17. I cussed like a sailor. You know that, brother. And I used to have to edit myself, like bleep myself on the mats. So it really was weird because back then, I'd look over and "Hey, Johnny, get the over here and do some jumping jacks, you little piece of bird." You know what I mean? And I used to have to like mumble through some of that stuff, and the parents thought it was funny. And I mean, it was a personal thing. I was like, man, I can't cuss at these kids. But that was the last time that I've done anything clean. And even then, I won't lie, it probably wasn't clean, but I just kept enough of it. So I'm with you. It's a trip when you go into that environment. But I was also advised by, like I say, some really good comedians at some point in my life that told me, if your jokes are good, whether you need to say an F-bomb or whether you need to say, call it a dick or something, you can always switch that around to a tallywhacker and, things like that. And I thought they're right. If you're good at this and you wrote good jokes, it don't got to be nasty. It don't got to be crude. And, I mean, blue is blue. Most of us are that way
Yeah.
anyways, but,
Yeah, no, you're you're
it,
you're right, definitely right. Because I think if you go into that area, it diversifies your style, I guess. Uh, you knowing you have that in the back of your pocket, you can just go in any room and do your thing, clean or blue.
absolutely. And I mean, and that's the real thing. Like, I mean, you get to that point where, like, I mean, there's guys like you and I've always looked up to. I'm a huge Jerry Seinfeld fan.
Hmm.
That dude's always been on the cleaner side. But Ray Romano, I've never been one of them dudes that was, like following him around with a golf club trying to get an autograph or anything. But that cat can do an hour and a half
Yeah,
of clean comedy, and he will make you laugh for an
yeah,
hour and a half. And that to me is that's a
yeah,
whole nother
yeah.
level,
It
brother.
is.
When and that's why dude's got a TV show that's still on repeat. And you know what I mean? And that's why he ain't never gonna have a real job again in his life. So the if like I said, man, you and I are funny dudes. And if we just adjust a little bit,
Yeah,
the jokes were there, the material was there, and all we had to do was nail the punchline and watch how
yeah.
we said it. But I do. There are dudes like that I look back and look up to a little bit in this business. That man, that's just if you can come at it like that, there's definitely a TV show or something like that
Right.
in your future, or at least a good writing job for a politician or
Yeah,
something. You know
something.
what I'm saying?
So okay, like so few months, went by. There was no comedy. It was kind of like that over here as well. And
Yeah, I was telling jokes at the grocery store, brother. You know
yeah,
what I'm
and
saying?
I mean, man, anywhere. I had to do one in the park, a parking lot. So yeah, man. But
Yeah.
so I noticed after a while, people started going out. They started doing even drive-through comedies, and like I mentioned, parking lots,
Yeah.
parks, comedy at the park or whatever. Um, and so I'm on the Facebook, and I'm I think I'm part of the one of the like Facebook group for Las Vegas comedy or something, and I started noticing some stuff like people uh like just started doing comedy, like I think a lot more like towards the end than certain places. Like what was that pretty much the case?
Yeah, I mean, some of us just got frustrated, brother, and they kept adjusting the rules and adjusting the situations, and the casinos and all of them were saying, "Look, we can't do anything because legally, we're on the hook for this," or our lawyers say no, or it just wasn't worth their
Hmm.
time and their money. So I and a few other people, I'm a board member of the community
Hmm.
theater where I live. I got a beautiful theater. It's like 200 seats. It looks like the Apollo back in the day. But we can't go inside and rent it and do anything with it because it's owned by the city and still, which means
Hmm.
controlled by the state. So I said, hey, I see everybody else outside. We have a beautiful courtyard. We got some chairs. I got some audio equipment. I know some comics in Vegas that are dying to get on stage. I promoted some shows before, that. So I was like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
It's time to do a show. So I did. I was one of the fools that did the Captain's Comedy Outdoor, event, and we did a few. I mean, we had 70
Mm.
people show up, brother, and most of them were old, like 60 years old, and like I brought out comics, five at a time from Vegas. Put them up. We had an awesome shows. We had great crowd response. People laughed. The comics were good. I didn't ask nobody to do anything. I told them what the crowd was going to be, but nobody came in clean. Nobody, we still got
Yeah.
to say what we want. We still got to do what we want. It was so much fun. I got to really introduce myself to the other set of comics out here in Vegas too. That was kind of nice because kind of broke open that, like, I'm doing shows too. I'm not just out here trying to like get on your show. I got my
Right.
own stuff going on, and that brings another level of respect in this game. So it was kind of nice. But I mean, in all honesty, it came out of frustration of just not being able to get up anywhere and not being able to go anywhere,
Right.
not be able to do anything. So we threw up a spotlight and told everybody, you may freeze your ass off, but you'll laugh your butt off. So you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it worked. It worked. And as soon as the weather gets anywhere near decent, we're going to do it again. Like you and I talked, I got plans to bring you guys
Yeah.
out and do a show out here and kind of get it. But I mean, slowly but surely, right now Vegas is starting to reopen, but not really the
Right.
casino part of it. I mean, they're
Yeah.
open, but
Yeah.
they're not doing
Yeah.
shows. So some of the bars are opening back up. We're starting to get the open mics are coming back. There's about 2 or 3, I think, now in Vegas. I was at Pauly Shore's assistant Mike
Mm.
Trans last night. Hit that mic, and then the dive bar on Monday out here, which, like I said, there was 37 comics at an open mic on Monday
Yeah.
night. Right. And brother, you and I both understand, like, let's do some math. I'm half Jewish. So if everybody went up for 5 minutes, that's a
Yeah.
long ass night. We're gonna stop it right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's enough math. So but it's good stuff because everybody's hungry. I mean, you can tell who still wants to do it. You can see there's still some, I mean, there's some new faces popping up
Yeah.
like usual.
Man. Yeah. Phew. Where's my damn podcast? That's right. We're on the line with the captain himself, TC Morgan, y'all. And TC, I think he cut out a little bit, or he got a phone. There you go. There you go.
Did I
You're
cut
good. We
again?
got you back. Woo. All right,
Whew.
we got him.
Hear me, bro. Like hey, look, bro, I'm 40-something-year-old white dude. You know my internet's good. Come on,
Yeah, I
man.
know, man. It's I don't know. Anchor. It's a trip. I can. I'm able to do my podcast, but this thing is free, so who knows? You know how certain things would free shit, right?
Look, brother, we done this already. You know, having a white dude in your group is important. My credit cards work, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, we've been friends
yeah.
long enough for you to know that. I know I bought something one night when we
No,
was
you're
out.
good.
So
I think you're good. I don't know.
good, good.
But yeah, man. So yeah, like let's go into a little bit about with your acting. I know I seen something recently, and you did mention it earlier on the podcast. You signed up with a particular uh well, you can go into it more than me. So what did you sign up for?
Yeah, no, I signed a deal with the Phoenix Rising Production Company. They're out of Seattle, Washington. We're going to do a couple movies at least. Looks like I'll be starring or featured in one comedy movie about a comedian. I'm going to play the funniest man on earth or something like that. One of the characters, and in another, we're looking to shoot a horror movie, and I think I'm going to play like One-Eyed Jack or
Hmm.
something like that. But really excited to work with those folks. They make a lot of films, and yeah, I do some
Yeah.
acting. And
Hey, can
this
I
last
audition for
year,
that? I have no eyes, so.
yeah, no, that's perfect, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got a part for you. Don't worry. All right,
Oh,
crazy blind
yeah,
Filipino. Don't worry. That we just
yeah.
write that in.
No, that's what's up. So that just happened recently.
Yeah, we just signed the deal here the other day, like this last week, which was kind of a big deal. They wanted to lock
Hmm.
everything in, and I do fights, I do stunts and stuff like that as well. So they were wanting to do some other movies as well, and so I'll probably end up popping up in those as the crazy white dude or
There
something.
you go,
So
man.
um, this last year I did Maverick and Grundy with Guy Grundy and those wonderful folks, Ricky Bird Jr. and those guys out in Bakersfield and Hesperia, and working with Paul and Chris and the team. I had a great setup with my fight team. Guy Grundy's former Mr. Australia, Mr. Universe. Maverick is in the movie as well. He's a marine assassin,
Mm.
something like that. I mean, these dudes are just monsters, brother. You know what I'm saying? They're like they are like WWF
Yeah.
He-Man characters in real life. So we had so much fun. Like Lionel Washington, he plays the Killer Croc, or I think he's playing the Killer Croc in the next Batman thing or something like that. He's 6'8". He weighed 296 pounds on
Ooh.
set. I mean, brother, you and I both grew up where I mean, like I make jokes about being the white dude from our neighborhood, but this dude was
Yeah.
huge. And Lionel he's the biggest teddy bear, he was so fun to work with. We did some great fights, some great stunts. I had a blast. The acting thing has been good to me especially this last year. I just stayed busy. I got shot a commercial for a company called Cargo Glide, and I did their virtual. Um, when they bring everybody out, usually out to Vegas, and they put the pretty girls out and they show them the tools and stuff like that with their trade shows. But this year being what it was, they couldn't do that, so they did a virtual trade show on their website, and I ended up being their representative on that as well. So
Nice. That's what
um,
that's what's up,
yeah,
man. Man, salute to you on that. Congratulations. That's
thank you, brother.
that's awesome to hear, man. Cause like like I said, man, I've been seeing your you know, obviously we're friends on Facebook, but friends off of Facebook as well, you know. But
Friends in real
yeah,
life,
real
that's
life
what that's
shit.
called.
But yeah, man, like you know, I'm seeing you grinding, you're hustling. I'm trying to do my thing out here. You know, you know, Nick and Jordan, and then obviously Gabriel recently just popped up into the scene. And
Yeah.
you know, they're doing. He has his own thing. UH Profits. He's putting on some shows, but as far as like just me personally, like yeah, just trying to grind it out as well, bro. Like I've been doing the Zoom. We've been going out to Vince's in Sac, and
You did Alameda, bro.
yeah,
I know you did the
comedy
Alameda
club. Yeah.
Comedy Club. I had introduced myself to those folks a
Hmm.
while back, and now I'm going to tell them that I know the blind fucking Filipino and try to get in from that,
Yeah,
because
bro.
no, I saw that, brother. That's good stuff. I mean, you're out there, you're on the same level, bro. You're out there working. I mean, part of me, I hear your podcast, I hear what you're doing. I was kind of like, yo, I got an idea. I think maybe I want to do a podcast. Ain't the same as yours. I'm not that big an
Yeah.
asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do some stuff based off of a video game that I've been playing. I'm goofy. I did the Comic Cons for a couple of years, dressed as Captain
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
and make props for the movies and stuff. So I played
Hmm.
Fallout, the video game about after the bombs drop and all
Yeah.
that, and I loved it. I built props and sold them. So I thought, I want to do a podcast off of that. I really enjoy it. My girl really enjoys it.
There you go,
So
man.
that was one of those, like, there you go. See what I'm saying? Like, she liked the video game as much as I did, I think. So I was like, that's crazy. That don't normally happen. So, I'm inspired by you, brother. You're doing your thing, and that's,
Oh, I
uh,
appreciate that, TC. I mean, man, like, man, I'm just trying, bro. Like, trying to do as much as I can. I mean, you and I both know that in this business, you know, you gotta, you know, you gotta hustle. You gotta grind. I mean, um, and you know, even though with the challenge that I have, I gotta go full force. I mean, there's some cats that you know kind of fell off a little bit, and you know, I wish you know they can get back on, and continue. But I'm pretty sure once things open up, you know, they'll probably you know, file in once again. But yeah, man, like yeah, I just I try, bro. I just gotta try, man.
somebody once said, you got to hustle harder than the weed dealers in your neighborhood if you plan on making it for real. You know what I mean? So I grew up with that. I've been legit most of my life. So it's like, man, if you're going to do this, you got to hustle hard. And there are other dudes out there hustling hard too. And no disrespect to
Hmm.
them and what they're doing. And I'm always, game recognizes game. I've never been mad at nobody that's doing their thing.
Damn
So,
straight, yeah,
but
yeah.
you got to do, we got to do ours too. So that's the other side of that. And I'm with you, brother. That's,
Yeah.
the more we're hustling, the more we're working, the further away we're dying or sitting there wondering what's going to happen next, because that ain't good for nobody. So
Right. But yeah, man. Hopefully, we'll definitely connect soon. In the future, do some shows and shit. But man, like I said, bro, like you're doing it your thing. Brings a smile to my face. To like somebody I know, that's doing their thing out there. That's what's up, man.
appreciate that, brother. I love you, and it's always been, you know what I mean. We ain't nothing
Love you
gonna
too,
change
brother.
from them days when we was sitting outside acting a fool, like I said, at these at these horrible places and working on our craft together. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know. We all could have been painters sitting around talking about painting the Sistine Chapel and all that stuff. We're
Yeah.
just a bunch of fools that tell jokes from the same neighborhood, and it's funny how it works out like that. That we may have not even known each other in school and stuff. We ran around the same places in the same hood.
Oh yeah.
We played at the
Yeah.
same video game arcades. We went to the same pizza places. Our families ran around each other. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We're from a big city, but it's still a small hood. So
Hey, TC. I heard they're trying to bring back Naughty Nicks and shit, bro. You remember Naughty Nicks?
I remember Naughty Nick. I've been kicked out of there once or twice, man.
Oh man, I miss Naughty Nicks, bro.
And those see that's stuff right there. That'll get you in trouble. You start saying stuff like that.
Oh man, we're gonna wrap it up in a couple minutes here. Where can they find you online, bro?
Oh man, I'm on the gram. You hit me up. The Captain TC. You get me on the Facebook. It's TC Morgan. I think it's the Captain TC Morgan as well. I got a little like thumb page you can like as well. If I think I got too many friends. It ain't like you and I, but I got friends on the Facebook. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
Yeah.
I always talk about that. Like I got 5,000 friends, but like 15 of y'all will show up. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah, right.
appreciate the 15 of y'all. That's just the way it is. I ain't mad at the rest, but
Right, right.
but I think I'm on the Twitter as well, that kind of stuff. But nah, hey, you can call me, bro. I ain't trying to hide from nobody. I got most of my bills paid up right. So if you hit me up, I'll get back at you. I'm in Phoenix. Let's see, we're in Chandler. JP's Comedy Club Thursday and Friday this week. Next week, I'll be out in St. George, Utah at the Electric Company. Keep an eye out. It looks like I'll probably be in Atlanta or back up in Colorado Springs as well soon. So, and if you're anywhere near Vegas, you know how it is. I'm out here. I
Bam.
might pop up dressed as a weird dude and stuff, but I'm out here. So
There it is, man. Go support the homie, man. TC's he's a good dude, awesome dude. Funny. I mean, multi-talented. Man. Just support the homie, man. As far as my stuff, where's my damn podcast? Be sure to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Review it, comment, man. Do the damn thing, man. And this will be on on your various streaming platforms, and this will also be on my YouTube channel. And man, shit, that's where's my damn podcast? That's what it is, man. TC, bro, man, I, I'm glad you were able to spend some time with us. It was a lot of fun, bro.
bro, I love you. I'm always here for you. Anytime anything goes down, you can hit me up. You need me, I'm there. Next time I'm back that way, we gotta go get some lumpia, take care of business.
Yeah.
Tell your wife I love her. I miss everybody, and I genuinely, brother, I'm so proud to be here with you. Honored to walk the path alongside you, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Likewise, tell Susie, we love her as well. Tell her what's up, man. Man, miss you guys. And until next time,
Yeah, yeah.
where's my damn podcast, y'all? Peace.
Like.